comfortable lying down position on the mat. Maybe with your knees bent and soles of the feet to the mat. And if you want a bit of extra support, you can also bring your feet wide and let your knees drop in towards each other so that the knees are supporting each other. And your arms can either be by your sides or on your belly if you need a little bit more grounding this morning. And just take a couple deep breaths, perhaps sighing out. And just take a moment to arrive in the space. Perhaps closing your eyes if this feels comfortable, or just gently gazing. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the muscles in the jaw, the muscles in the face, around the eyes. Lovely. Just taking these moments to arrive in the space and almost forget everything else that is happening around you. All that matters for the next 30 minutes are yourselves on your mat. Lovely, and then we'll flutter the eyes open if they're closed, and we'll bring both knees into the chest and hug the shins just for a moment there. And then we'll place the right hand on the right knee, left hand on the left knee, and we'll start drawing circles with our knees. So we'll send our knees away from us and then open wide and then bring them back into the chest. So drawing circles, and move smoothly and slowly here. Imagine you're stirring a thick pot of honey or porridge, so moving slowly and smoothly. One more circle in this direction. Lovely, and then we'll move in the opposite direction, so just reversing the movement. And moving slowly and mindfully, starting to loosen up the hips, which can be very tight if we're sitting in our chairs all day long. Lovely, and then we'll come to stillness, hugging both knees back into the chest, and then we'll keep the right knee in the chest, and we'll bring the left sole of the feet back down onto the mat. And then we'll place our hands to the back of the right thigh and extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. And let's start circling the right ankle. So moving circles in one direction, loosening up the ankle joint. And then whatever direction you took initially, we'll reverse the movement and move in the opposite direction. Again, very smoothly and mindfully. Lovely. And then let's come to stillness, and we'll flex the foot and then point. Flex, point. Flex, point. Flex, point. And then release. We'll bring the right knee back down into the chest. Extend the left leg long on the mat. And then we'll take our left hand to the outside of the right knee and bring the right knee over towards the left. So we're coming into a supine twist, and the right arm can be extended out into a T shape. Make sure that the right shoulder is in contact with the mat, is nice and grounded. And take deep breaths here in your supine twist. Stretching and opening the right side of the body here. One more deep breath here. And then we'll gently make our way back to center, hugging both knees into the chest. And then we'll do the same on the opposite side. So this time we'll hug the left knee into the chest, bring the right sole of the foot to the mat, and then we'll extend the left leg up towards the ceiling with the hands resting behind the left thigh. And we'll start circling the left ankle. Loosening out the ankle joint here. Lovely. Circles in one direction, and then we'll reverse and draw circles in the opposite direction. Lovely. And then let's come to stillness, and we'll flex the left foot and then point. Flex, point. Flex, point. Flex, point. And then we'll bring the right knee back down into the chest. Let's hug both knees again. Bring both knees into the chest. And then we'll bring our hands to the back of the thighs, and we'll start rolling up and down on our mat, building up momentum until we finally find ourselves in a seated position. And then let's transition to an all fours. So on hands and knees, spreading your fingers nice and wide on the mat. Your shoulders will be tracking on top of your wrists, and your hips will be tracking on top of your knees. Gaze down on the mat in between the index fingers. Lovely. And let's start taking some movement in the spine. So without being too worried about how it looks, just moving the spine, perhaps drawing figures of 8 or circles. You can bring the sit bones down to the heels and then come back up. And you can close your eyes as well. Just feel into the movement. It's more important about how it feels than how it looks. Lovely. Starting to loosen up and wake up the spine. And then if you wish to, you can then start transitioning the movement into a very simple cat-cow. So on an inhale, arching the spine and shining the chest forward, dropping the belly. And then on an exhale, we'll reverse the movement by dropping the head and rounding the spine. Inhale, drop the belly, shine the chest forward, arch the back, and then exhale, reverse the movement by dropping the head, doming the back, navel to spine. And then carry on on in your own time, at your own pace, perhaps carrying on with this cat-cow movement or the free movement that we started with, circles or figures of 8. One more breath here in the movement. And then we'll come back to a neutral all fours. We'll tuck the toes under, tuck all 10 toes under, and let's just bring the seat to the heels for a moment and stretch our arms out long on the mat. So we're really stretching the upper body and stretching the soles of the feet as well. Beautiful. And then let's come back to all fours, spreading our fingers nice and wide on the mat. And let's prepare to come up into downward facing dog. So keeping the toes nice and tucked. We'll inhale deeply, and on an exhale, we'll lift the knees off the mat, bringing the hips up to the sky. Gaze in between the legs or up towards the navel. Nice micro bend in the knees, micro bend in the elbows. And take any movements that feel good in your downward facing dog. So you might decide to walk the dog by bending one knee and then the other. In turn. Loosening up the hamstrings. Lovely. One more breath here in your dog. And then we'll walk the hands backwards to meet the feet. So slowly and gradually allow the hands to meet the feet, and you'll end up in a forward fold at the back of your mat. Let's stay here just for a moment in a forward fold, letting the head hang loose. Perhaps swaying a little bit from side to side. Knees nice and bent. Lovely. And then when you're ready to, we'll unravel. So moving to a mountain pose by unrolling the spine, vertebra by vertebra. So come up very slowly and mindfully. And the very last thing to come up will be your head. Beautiful. Lovely. And let's just shake everything out for a moment and just take a second here to adjust to being upright. Lovely. And then we'll work into a warrior one. So we'll bring our hands to our hips and we'll turn our right foot out to approximately 1 o'clock. And then with our left foot, we'll step forward and then let's step forward again. So the feet are fairly wide on the mat, but a comfortable distance. Back leg is nice and strong and straight, and we'll make sure that both our hip points are facing forward like 2 flashlights. Lovely. We'll inhale deeply, and on an exhale, let's bend the left leg and bring the arms up towards the ceiling. Relax the shoulders and make sure that you can see your pinky fingers with the corners of your eyes if you look up. Lovely. So this is warrior one. Taking a couple deep breaths here. Make sure you relax your shoulders, and if you have any tension in the jaw, gripping in the jaw, let go of that. Lovely. One more breath here, and then we'll work towards a balance. So inhaling deeply, and on an exhale, we'll bring our arms down to cactus, and we'll start peeling the right foot off the mat. So bringing the torso and the right leg to be parallel to the mat. And then we'll inhale, come back to warrior one. Exhale, let's work into the balance again. Cactus arm, lifting the left foot, the right foot. Inhale, warrior one. With control. Exhale, come back into your warrior three balance. One last time. We'll inhale back to warrior one. And then exhale, come back into your balance. Taking a few breaths here. Embracing any wobbles. Lovely. And then we'll come back down to warrior one. And then we'll bring the hands down to the hips. Extend the left leg. And let's turn sideways so that you're facing the long edge of your mat. Hands on the hips. Inhale deeply. And on an exhale, we'll hinge at the hips and fold forwards. Wide-legged forward fold. Lovely. Let your head, your neck, the whole of your upper body hang loose. And your hands can either be on the mat or on your shins, ankles, whatever's most accessible to you. Lovely. And then when you're ready to, we'll walk the hands back towards the front of the mat. Pivot your feet so that you're in a lunge position. Plant the hands, step back to high plank, and then we'll drop the knees, untuck the toes, and come down to the mat with your thighs, belly, chest, forehead. Lovely. Press into the hands, press into the tops of the feet. Inhale, peel the forehead and the chest off the mat. Low cobra. Exhale, come back down to the mat with your forehead and your chest. Tuck your 10 toes under. Press into the hands and come back through tabletop and then up into downward facing dog. Lovely. Taking a couple of breaths here in your dog. Perhaps walking the dog, bending one knee and then the other. Beautiful. And then we'll walk the hands back towards the feet. So we want to end up in a forward fold at the back of the mat. Taking a breath or two in your forward fold. Lovely. And then we'll gently make our way up to standing. Unrolling one vertebra at a time. Very last thing to come up will be your head. Lovely. And then let's give our hands, our legs, arms a bit of a shake. And let's do the same on the opposite side so you know what's coming. So hands on the hips. This time we'll turn our left foot out to around 11 o'clock, more or less. And we'll step forward with the right foot once, and then once more. So this comfortable distance between the two legs. Back leg is nice and strong, straight. Inhale, And on an exhale, we'll bend the right knee. Inhale, bring the arms up towards the ceiling. Again, make sure your shoulders are nice and relaxed, away from the ears. And you can see your pinky fingers with the corners of the eyes. Warrior one. Breathing deeply here, relaxing any tension in the jaw. Lovely, and then we'll work towards our balance again. So inhaling deeply, and then on an exhale, we'll bring our arms down into cactus and peel the left foot off the mat. Warrior three. Inhale, let's come back to warrior one, arms up, foot back to the mat. Exhale, warrior three. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior three. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior three. Embracing any wobbles. And then one last time. Inhale, coming back to warrior one. And then we'll bring the hands down to the hips. Extend the right leg. And then let's pivot the feet so that we're facing the long edge of our mat. Opening the legs nice and wide. Hands on the hips. Inhale. Exhale. We'll hinge at the hips and fold forward. Wide-legged forward fold. Letting everything go. Head, neck, upper body, let everything hang loose. And again, find that most accessible place for your hands, be it the floor, your ankles, your shins. Lovely. And then let's walk the hands back towards the front of the mat. We'll pivot the feet so that we're in a lunge position. Lovely. Plant the hands into the mat and step back, high plank. Lovely, taking a breath here, and then we'll drop the knees down to the mat, untuck the toes, and release thighs, belly, chest, forehead, down to the mat. Press into the hands, press into the tops of the feet. Inhale, peel the forehead and the chest off the mat. Low cobra. Exhale, release everything back down. And then tucking all 10 toes under, pressing into the hands, we'll come through tabletop and then up into downward facing dog. One last time, so take any final movements you need to take in your dog. If you have a vinyasa in your practice, feel free to take that now. And then when you're ready to, we'll all meet in extended child's pose. So bringing your knees nice and wide on the mat. Bringing your sit bones back to your heels, extending the arms long, and bringing the forehead down to the mat. Allowing the practice to wash over you. And just taking a moment here to reconnect with your breath. enjoying these moments of peace and quiet before your busy day ahead starts. Lovely. And then when you're ready to, we'll start walking the hands back towards the knees, very gently moving into an upright position. And when you get there, you can either stay seated on your knees if this is comfortable, or just slide to one side and find a comfortable cross-legged position. Lovely. We'll place our hands on our knees and let's take a few rolls with our neck just to loosen up the neck, an area that again can get quite tight when we're typing all day long. So we'll inhale, look up. Exhale, look down. Inhale, look up. Exhale, look down, chin to chest. One last time, we'll inhale, look up. Exhale, look down, chin to chest, and then keep the chin down towards the chest and move the head from side to side. So imagine that you're trying to draw a necklace with your chin. Then moving slowly, mindfully, feeling for any tight spots in the neck. Lovely. And then we'll very gently come back to center and lift the head. Beautiful. Let's inhale, bring the shoulders up towards the ears, squeeze, 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 and then open the mouth and release everything on the side. One more time, on inhale, squeeze the shoulders up towards the ears, and then release. One last time, on inhale, squeeze, 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 and let this be your loudest sigh yet. Letting everything go, anything that doesn't serve you. Beautiful. And then we'll inhale, sweep the arms up, overhead, welcoming this new day, bringing the hands together into prayer. And let's move the prayer down towards the forehead for kind thoughts, down to the mouth for kind words, and down to heart center for kind actions. And let's bow together to seal the practice. Thank you so much.